This is an M56 valve cover. Well, kind of sorta. It has been modified by Corey Misko of Fresh Produce Manufacturing, and I'm going to use this to fix some of the issues that I had from anti-slay day. So let's get right into it.
Beep. Beep.
You, dude. I just killed a mosquito and now there's blood on my hands. Because obviously it got me. Alright, so as I mentioned earlier, this valve cover is an M56 valve cover that looks quite a bit different than what it looked like coming off of the E46s that these came off of, which are like some weird California type low emission vehicle, whatever, that kind of stuff. But the good thing about those cars is they come with this beautiful M56 valve cover, which after a little bit of modifications by Corey Misko of Fresh Produce Manufacturing. If you don't know who he is, he has one of the most stylish E46s in the game right now, and he makes a killer turbo manifold for the E46 as well. So go ahead and check them out. I'll link them down somewhere over here, whatever. Now, if you can recall, the reason that I'm going to be putting this onto my car is because I have a cracked valve cover and it just looks way cooler. Plus, with these modifications that have been done, it makes it a little bit more to my liking. Now, what has been done to this manifold is the fill port that normally sits on the left side of the valve cover is now sitting where the original catch can setup was. So the whole catch can assembly thing that sits below the valve cover is no longer operable, which means that the port for the stock CCV system is deleted and shaved off, as well as where the original fill port was, so it has this nice smooth front part of the valve cover. Now, because I'm not using the factory CCV system anymore, I'm going to be running a vent to atmosphere setup thanks to these two -10 AN bungs that are sitting right on the side, and it should make for a really clean setup once I route this to a catch can. Now, I'm going to be ditching my existing catch can setup in favor of one of these guys. This is another catch can that I found off of Amazon. Conveniently enough, it has two -10 AN ports to match up perfectly to my M56 valve cover. It should be a little bit more free-flowing compared to my existing setup. So after the modifications of this valve cover actually has been hot tanked. So the good thing is a lot of the prep work is already done, and I'm going to take advantage of that by applying some nice blue paint, some, what is this, duplicolor metalcast, which should turn out very, very nice. It seems like for some reason every single YouTuber is painting their valve cover this exact color, which, oh well, it's a really nice looking color. So unfortunately it is just spray paint, but whatever, if we want to change it later, we can do that. So without further ado, let's get to work. I need to prep this valve cover for paint. I'm going to start off by sanding it, giving it a nice little scuff, cleaning it, and then we'll get down to business. So she is wet sanded, masked off, cleaned with acetone, and ready to go. At least cleaned as best as I could. But yeah, I guess we're just going to send it on this nice cool summer night. So my plan is to do a couple of base coats of this enamel ceramic thing, this silver, followed by as many coats of this duplicolor metal cast to get the kind of blue that I want. I want it to be a little bit on the darker side, and then we're going to finish it off with this gloss clear. I'm going to try to spray it on pretty thick to kind of make the color pop. So this is the finished valve cover. It came out a little bit lighter than I would really like. I couldn't really tell at night. I thought it was okay, but you know, seeing it now in the daylight, it still looks pretty good for what it is. I mean, there are definitely some imperfections. Like, I didn't prep any of this portion of the valve cover because I didn't really care. It's gonna be covered by the harness anyway. But yeah, it's pretty much good enough for what I really want out of it. Okay, so the valve cover is installed. I still got to put in the new coil packs and the new harness, which I will explain later. But in the meantime, I have to get this oil catch can installed. I'm probably going to put it in the drug bin, and I have my two bungs right here. I'm going to have a route through here and then have this come into these two right here. So got my lines routed. As you can see, they go through this area. I need to figure out a way to better protect the line, because that's probably going to rub away over time. And this is where my catch can is going to sit. I need to make a bracket, probably going to 3D print something that's going to mount to that right there. I'll probably modify it. It is a little flimsy, but whatever. I also got to do something about this corner right here, because that is already touching and I do not want it to rub through the hose. So I got to figure something out for that. So since I have the older version of the E46 with the bolt-in style coil packs, I actually have to convert over to the M56 harness or the newer E46 harness. I just happen to have a, well, this isn't it. I happen to have an M56 harness. So luckily it pretty much bolts right up to the ECU. The only thing is I gotta change out the pinout on the plug so that it works with my ECU, and I gotta change one of these plugs over so that's the correct style plug to plug into my current harness. So let's get to it. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be repinning this connector. If you don't know how to repin this for M56 valve cover swaps, check out the 50s kit video. I'll go ahead and link it in the top. I'll probably link it in the description too. So harness is repinned. I did have some issue getting one of the wires depinned, as you can probably see right there. One of them is cut, so I just took the connector out of the old harness and I crimped them together. Should be just fine. And then on this side I took the plug off of the OEM harness, the old harness as well, and again crimped the wires together. So let's toss this on. Harness is in, all plugged in. I don't have these screws though. For some reason it's a weird size, so I gotta go to like a hardware store and find those screws. Alright, so that is it for this video. I got the M56 valve cover installed and it looks, I don't know about you guys, but I'm in love with how my engine bay is looking right now. I've never had a decent looking engine bay, and I know this may not be the cleanest, but I mean, I'm proud of it. So super stoked on it. Shout out to Corey Misko at Fresh Produce Manufacturing. He did a killer job on this manifold, and I really love the way that it turned out. With that being said, that is it for this video. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Enjoy these beauty shots.